needles is discovered in central Illinois, doctors are warning those who may have visited similar locations. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Rebecca Brumfield. Eugene Daniel has the day off. President Trump announces a deal to reopen the government. It's a temporary deal, but will reopen government departments and provide back pay to federal employees. Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon has the details and reaction from Senate Democrats.
President Trump made this surprise announcement in a hastily arranged Rose Garden speech.
We have reached a deal to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government.
The president giving in to what Democrats have been asking for all along.
To open the government and then debate border security.
The deal funds the government for the next 3 weeks and provides back pay for furloughed federal employees.
This is an opportunity for all parties to work together for the benefit of our whole beautiful, wonderful nation.
Over the next 3 weeks, lawmakers will try to negotiate a long-term spending deal to fund the government. But if they don't reach a deal, we could face another government shutdown.
If we don't get a fair deal from Congress, the government will either shut down on February 15th again, or I will use the powers afforded to me under the laws.
President Trump says those powers would allow him to declare a national emergency and build a border wall without congressional approval.
I can't assure the public on anything that the president will do, but I do have to say I'm optimistic. I see every challenge or every crisis as an opportunity.
Both lawmakers and the president thanked government employees and said they'll be paid as soon as possible. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
New at 4, after 75 minutes of deliberation this morning, jurors gave a verdict of not guilty on all counts of murder for a Galva man, James Love. Love, age 59, was charged with first-degree murder for the fatal shooting of 19-year-old Xavier Hartman on June 19th of last year. Love was charged for shooting Hartman in the thigh. The Register-Mail reports Love acted in self-defense. Now, according to Love's testimony, Hartman hit Love first, and then he called his wife to call police, and Hartman charged at him. That's when Love shot him. Well, staying in the courtroom, the two men charged with the death of a Bloomington man pleaded not guilty today. Anthony Gramsas and Taiwan Bruce are charged in connection to the December death of Egerton Dover. Both men were arrested January 7th in Decatur. Status hearings are scheduled for February 21st and 22nd. Both remain in custody in the McLean County Jail. Special counsel Robert Weller's team made another arrest of a Trump associate. Roger Stone, a longtime informal advisor to the president, is charged with 1 count of obstruction of an official proceeding, 5 counts of making false statements, and 1 count of witness tampering. The indictment mentions Stone's efforts to find information about when WikiLeaks would release emails hacked during the 2016 campaign. In addition to trying to cover up his actions by lying and get others to lie for him, Stone declared his innocence following this morning's court appearance.
I will plead not guilty to these charges. I will defeat them in court. I believe this is a politically motivated investigation.
Stone is the 6th Trump associate or advisor charged by the special counsel's office. The other 5 all pled guilty to various crimes. Well, small business owners are urging the Pritzker administration to think twice before raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour statewide. The new governor says that's a top priority on his agenda, and he would offer some tax breaks to small businesses to help them offset the higher cost of doing business. The Illinois Chamber of Commerce says the downstate business climate just may not be able to afford it.
He's going to kill small businesses, especially in downstate and the rest of the areas outside of the metropolitan area.
Pritzker has insisted he wants to pass the wage hike statewide. You can watch the rest of that interview this Sunday morning at 10:30 on Capital Connection with host Mark Maxwell. Well, big changes continue to happen in Peoria Heights. On Tuesday, the village board agreed to unanimously move forward with 2 developing projects. The first, a new apartment complex on Prospect Road that will include 10 rental units. The second, a neighborhood restaurant that could hold events for corporate and small group gatherings. We will have more on this story, including reaction from the developer, coming up on WMBD News at 5. A Central Illinois airport set a new record for annual passengers in 2018. WMBD's Lauren Langer is in the newsroom to explain the months that led to this record-setting numbers. Lauren.
Rebecca, more than 650,000 people flew out of the Peoria International Airport in 2018, creating a record year for the local airport. PIA saw 7 record months with just over 640,000 passengers. June ended up being the busiest month in the airport history. The previous record of flyers was set back in 2015. Director of Airports Gene Olson said today in a release that the airport plans to add larger jets starting next month. Rebecca.
All right, Lauren, thanks so much. Well, with cold temperatures closing some schools this week, districts are finding a way for kids to keep learning. Today, despite the wind chills, Tremont School District decided not to close. Now, officials say a lot of factors come into play when deciding to take a snow day or not. In Tremont School District, there's no magic formula for deciding whether or not to cancel classes.
-25 wind chill is for us anyway pretty much an automatic, but again, I mean there are a lot of factors, and today we just felt like it was safe for our buses to get through, and we elected to have school.
Coming up at 5, hear from a teacher about how a new policy will change future snow days. Well, Champaign County health officials are sending an alert after a person contracted the measles. Now, they say there's a long list of where that person went in both Champaign and Urbana when they had it. The public health district is asking people to check if they may have been exposed as well. Now, the virus is airborne. That patient was put in isolation immediately after being diagnosed with measles and is now recovering. But the virus has an incubation period of 4 days before and after the rash starts. So there are some things the public health district wants people to know to make sure that you don't have it.
This is so contagious, and if somebody walks through a room and is in there, the virus can hang around for another 2 hours afterwards. It's a viral illness that can have devastating, even deadly effects.
Measles symptoms are very recognizable. That includes the red patchy skin rash, high fever, runny nose, red watery eyes, and also a cough. Well, after this afternoon snowfall, we could see more light snow throughout the weekend. Don't go anywhere. Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates has your full weather forecast when we come back.
You're watching WMBD News, Central Illinois Proud, with Eugene Daniel and Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates with your local weather authority.